Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Motion.io live stream. You may have noticed I was out last week. I was up in Maine visiting my family, but we are back this week, regularly scheduled. We're here every Friday at 10:30 Mountain Time, so that's 9:30 for you folks on Pacific, 12:30 for the folks on Eastern Time. My name is Sam Chlebowski. If you don't know me by now, one of the co-founders of Motion.io. And in this live stream this week, we're going to be talking all about new features and specifically drilling into one feature in particular, which is the ability to add forms to portal tabs within your Motion.io projects. It's a really cool new piece of functionality. I've been using it just a ton over the last few days, and I'm excited to dig in here with you. But first things first, as we go through the topic or the content of this live stream today, as I show you things in Motion.io, please feel free. Tune in with your questions. I love getting questions. I love responding, interacting with you all live. And I'm an open book. Anything you want to know about Motion.io, even if it's totally unrelated to some of the stuff we're covering, no problems. Don't be shy. Send those questions in and I'll be happy to answer them. And I see we got a couple folks tuning in already. We have Anjanette joining us. Hello. Very nice to have you with us. Where are you tuning in from out in the world? I also see we have James joining us from Top Engineer. And it looks like, James, you guys do a whole bunch of things. You service automotive, aerospace, energy, and a lot of other, it looks like engineering related industries doing talent acquisition. That's super cool. Really cool use case for Motion.io. So I imagine you're maybe using us for sourcing, maybe interacting, onboarding with the folks that you are hiring, you're trying to place in businesses. So yeah, thanks for writing in and saying hi. If anybody else is out in the audience wants to say hi, hey, I'm here. Feel free to write in a comment. And yeah, we're going to be talking about a bunch of cool stuff here today. But what I'm going to do first, and what I like to do every time we do one of these product update live streams, is I like to go in and look at the Motion.io changelog, which shows everything that we've released over the past week. And we update it every single week. So let's go ahead and hop into there now. Take a sip of coffee here. And I see we got a couple more comments from the chat. I have a personal virtual assistant business that I just launched. Congratulations. That's amazing. And would love it, if you want to write in, Angela, tell us a little bit more about the things that you're looking to do with Motion.io. I'm happy to get into any specifics and provide, even recommendations just for you on this call. Also have a message from James, loving Motion.io. We are new and the system is improving our workflows and client work. Love to hear it. And along those lines, I think that, James, for your work, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the big piece of functionality I'll be showing off today, our new portal forms feature that allows you to have these forms that clients can kind of submit at any time, might be particularly useful for you. Let me know. Or let me know things you might use it for as we do dive into this today. So without further ado, just pulling up, just sharing my screen here. Sorry, I'm normally a little bit more on the ball with that. I forgot that I hadn't opened the tab with our changelog quite yet. Here we go. So cool. Let's take a look at the week of July 9th and the things that we released this week. So in our changelog here, kind of highlighting a couple of the bigger features up at the top here. First is the portal forms. I'd mentioned that a couple of times. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about it. I think that this is just one of the coolest pieces of functionality we've released in the last couple of weeks, just because I've used other tools to do what you can now do with this feature in Motion.io. And the setup process was pretty laborious. It was, hey, I got to create a form somewhere. Then I got to create a way to input those forms into my project management tool. Maybe I'm having to use something like Zapier to do that. Maybe I have to, first send an email to someone and then, scan that email for the details of their request and then send it to my project management tool. with the way that we built this functionality is so simple. It takes literally just seconds to set up. Really excited to show it to you today. But the gist of it is basically you can add these forms to tabs inside your Motion.io portals. And when clients submit them, what Motion.io will do is create a task, assign the correct person on your team, and then automatically activate the task so they can go in and complete it. And in that task, it's going to have all of the information that you or your team needs to complete it. So there's no copy pasting, there's no scanning through email threads or Slack messages to try and find the details your customers sent. Nope, we do all of that for you. And all you have to do is just set up a quick form to be able to handle that. We've also made a big improvement to the task activity feed in Motion.io. And this is one of those things that if you're reading this, maybe it seems like it's a little bit more of a less impactful or even boring update. Oh, cool, Motion.io improved the task activity feed. But once I show you this, especially if you're someone who had used Motion.io before, I think you're going to find this to be super, super helpful, especially if you have tasks that are pretty involved. Maybe they involve a couple of different iterations. Maybe they require your client to enter and re-enter information. And there's a little bit more collaboration in those. For cases like this new activity feed in the task view provides this super granular view into, hey, why is this task done or not done? And what were the steps that happened or that maybe still need to happen to get this task completed? So really cool update there, and I'll be showing you exactly how that works and the new information you'll have accessible in this improved activity feed. So just below our new features this week, we also have a couple of big bug fixes and improvements. One note about this section, we don't include like every single bug fix. Every time we do a release, there's probably dozens or more of bug fixes in there, but most of the things are like smaller. We typically will add the ones that people have reported to us personally that we know are causing issues, and that is often what gets logged here, just because this list would be a mile long if we were to log everything, and it could get a little technical. But we did fix a bug this week that occasionally caused the due date for tasks with checklists not saved correctly. This was only happening for a small number of tasks. We have fixed that. If you were one of the people who had experienced an issue with due dates saving. We've also fixed an issue with our global template updates functionality. If you're not familiar with our global template updates feature, what that feature does is it allows you to make a change within one of your templates and apply that change globally across all projects previously created from the template. And we identified a small issue where if you would reorder the various project tabs in a template, so those tabs that clients can access under the title of the project, if you reordered them, it wouldn't always be reflected in your active projects that had been created from that template. So we went ahead and fixed that up for you. Also, because I was out last week and we have some new folks joining us, I will cover just a couple of other things here that we did in the previous release. We did skip a release cycle here for the 4th of July. Just, too busy, too many things going on. And our team was out celebrating the 4th. So one of the big things that I'll call attention to in the release just before this one is that you can now bulk download folders from the file manager in Motion.io. And I'll show you what this looks like towards the end of this live stream here today. But basically what it means is that instead of just having the option to download individual files, you can now download the entire folder. So if your client has uploaded a bunch of different stuff, you've sent them a bunch of stuff, you can download that folder in bulk. And it's really good functionality if you are moving things around, maybe either to your desktop, an external hard drive, or even something like Google Drive. So we've also adjusted the way that project tags work. Project tags in Motion.io are something that has been really cool to see the value that people are getting out of them and how much they are using them. And I think one of the big reasons for that is that project tabs make it really easy to filter between different types of services. And many of our customers have a couple of different types of services that they offer. So, even for the example of and Jeanette, who chimed in here in the comments earlier, I know you have a virtual assistant business. I imagine within that business, there are different tiers, but then also different types of things that you can do for people. Maybe if you, when I've worked with virtual assistants in the past, they'll do things like content writing. Then they'll also do things like managing inboxes and appointments and other stuff like that. So project tabs, in the case, applying this to a VA business, you might maybe have different tags for each of those types of services that you offer. And with this update we pushed out about 2 weeks ago, makes it a lot easier to see what those tags are at a glance, a lot quicker to manage the different types of projects you're running. So with that, let's go ahead and I'm going to back out here, and I'm then going to jump into my motion.io account, and we will start off here with the big feature that I want to show off today. And I have a couple of different sections, a couple of things to talk through, but please, as I go through this, if there's a question you have, even if it's about something else within motion.io, don't hesitate, don't be shy, write in with your question. I will jump into it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about here today is adding forms to portal tabs. So I've talked quite a bit about what this functionality does, but I do want to talk about the way that you use it and the different use cases you can use it for. So let me go ahead, jump into my motion.io account here. So to start things off, one thing I will highlight about adding forms to project tabs is I'm going to generally encourage that you set this up within your project templates versus active projects, because when you set up a portal tab that includes your form in a template, it's automatically going to carry over to any projects you create from that template. And this is something that really persists through basically all of the template functionality, where that's the benefit at the end of the day. Templates allow you to build repeatable, scalable processes in motion.io and not reinvent the wheel every time. So I am going to go into, let me actually just create quickly a new template from scratch just to show you how this works. So I'm going to click create new template, and I'm going to call this example template. Click create. And what I'll do just to shape this template a little bit is I'm going to just quickly enter a prompt here. I'm going to build out this template using our AI task builder. If this is a feature that you have not used yet, it's really, really cool. What this AI template builder allows you to do is essentially you enter a prompt, and then motion.io will go ahead and take care of building out the various tasks and stages within the project for you. And it'll even create the forms that you need and select the right task type without you having to do anything besides explain your process in a couple of sentences. So I have a prompt that I have saved over here. And I am just going to go ahead and I'm going to enter my prompt that I've saved. This just includes information. I had set this up for a website design project. So I'm not going to walk you through everything that I'm telling here. But basically, this outlines an entire web design, the entire process for a web design project. And I'm just going to paste that information in here. So if you have something like SOPs already documented somewhere for your business, a great example of the way that you can use this AI task builder is you copy those SOPs, paste them in here into the AI task builder. And once you click submit, motion.io will generate your tasks, include any relevant forms, and organize them within stages for you. So I'm going to give this just a couple of seconds to think. And oftentimes for these examples, I will just jump into something I've built out already. But I did want to show you kind of the more full process of like building out your first template in case there is in case there's people new in the audience watching and you're wanting to see like, hey, what's the fastest way to get up and running with motion.io? And I do see we have a couple of questions that have come in. James asks, can we get a larger context window for this feature? James, are you asking? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You are saying that basically within the AI task builder, and please tell me if I'm wrong, write in with a comment if this isn't exactly what you're mentioning. You were basically saying that within the AI task builder, you would just like that box to be bigger so you can kind of see what you are adding to it. Is that correct? One thing I will point out about this is, and let me just quickly, I'm just going to create a test to show you quickly what I did. One of the things that you can do if you're using the AI task builder is you can just expand this. There's a little, there's two little dashes here down in the right hand corner, and you can expand this to be able to increase the size of that, just so you can see exactly what you're putting in here. So like that. And that is a better way. And if you're on a large screen, you can expand this quite a bit more even. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Gotcha. Well, good to hear is correct. And Anjanette says, I know, and there's so much I haven't seen yet. Oh, and gotcha. James, the context is too small and that I cannot use a longer prompt. Oh, because we limit the, I think that what you're referencing is are you running into a limit with the prompt that you are entering? Is that it? I believe what you're referencing. Let me know. I'm also happy, if you want to send us an email, you can even email me directly at sam@motion.io with your question and any clarification, or even like a couple screenshots could be helpful for that. And I'll have our team look into it. And then Tanya writes in magic. Cool. I'm glad to hear that this functionality is so cool to you. This is a feature that I actually haven't shown off on one of these live streams in quite a while. So I wanted to just take a step back and make sure everybody knew it existed, because it is something that's really, really cool, especially if you couple this, our AI task builder, with an AI client, because then what you can do is you can build out your entire workflow and then have a simulated client run through each task and test it for you to identify any potential bottlenecks, see how long tasks take, without having to actually onboard a real client or wait for them to go through all the stages. Nope, you can do it in seconds by adding an AI client, which basically simulates the process of a client going through an entire motion.io workflow. And I'll make a note for myself here. I will show you how to use that AI simulated client feature towards the end of this webinar or this live stream here today. So now that I have my template set up, I have my basic stages here, onboarding, design, and launch. What I'm then going to do is I want to go ahead, and I have these two just default tabs here. I have the default welcome page. This is just a boilerplate message. I'm going to leave this as is for now. But actually, maybe what I'll do for the welcome message, just to show you that you can customize even the default information. So for the things like for the default welcome page, you can customize that information. You can delete it entirely if you wanted. But what I'm actually going to do here is I have this video that I a couple of weeks ago. And this is a video basically explaining to clients how they can use their motion.io portal. And what I'll do is in my welcome page, I'm actually going to go ahead and copy the embed code for this. And I'm going to head back to my motion.io account, and I'll paste that embed code in here. And then sweet. this video that I added will now be viewable to the client along with all of the other context for using their portal on this page. But now to show you how to add a form to one of the portal tabs for this template, what I'm going to do is create a new tab. And for this first example, I'm going to call this, let's call this help desk. So this is one of the ways that you can use this functionality. It's as kind of a lightweight help desk. And the benefit of this is every time a client submits this form, it'll automatically create a task in their associated project. So what I'll do is let me change this icon here. I'm going to change it to this. And then I'm going to leave the content section blank, as well as the app embed code section. I'm going to leave that blank as well. And then I'll come down to the form embed section. And this is where I'll be able to add a form directly to this task. And you can see that there's a couple of different options that I'll be talking through how to do things here. But the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually create a form that we can attach to this task or to this portal page, because unless there's a form added here, there will be nothing for clients to submit. It won't be able to automatically create a task in Motion.io. And I will pause for just a second to respond to some comments. Tanya is writing in. So I have 3 packages I offer plus custom offers. Should I ask AI to create a template for each of those 3 packages? So yes, in general, that is probably what I would suggest, Tanya, is that you would have basically a different template for each of those packages that you offer. That will probably be easiest in the long term. And then because what you can always do is within Motion.io, you can add a client to multiple projects. So let's say you have a client that had purchased every single package, every single service you offer. Not sure if this is what you do in your business, but let's just say for the sake of example, you do. You could add them to 3 individual projects that reflect each one of those different services and packages that you offer. And they'll be able to access each of those 3 projects for the 3 services they signed up for in the same portal. Basically, what happens when you invite a client to multiple projects is Motion.io just adds them in a list on the left hand of their sidebar. And I can even just to take a step back here for a second, just to show you what that would look like. I'm going to save this portal tabs page I started creating because we'll come back to this in just a bit. But I believe in my account here, I have a couple of clients. Yep, looks like I got a couple here. I have a couple of clients that have been added to multiple projects. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to view their portal just to show you what this looks like, because it is a really great question. So sorry to sidetrack us here a little bit, but I do think that this will be helpful. One second here. I'm just going to add them to a different project. So I added my client here. Okay. And a quick tip, if you want to view a portal exactly as your client will see it, we do have a preview option in app, but if you want to see your portal exactly as the client, a very quick tip to do that is just go into the users page of a project, copy their magic link, and paste that link into an incognito window. So to show you here, Tanya, what I'm talking about with how you can add clients to multiple projects. In this case, Jenny Jacobs here, she was added to the Larry's Laundry Consulting Project, as well as the Moxie Beverages website redesign project. And she can see both of those projects from her homepage. And then on the left-hand side here, can access the unique tabs associated with those specific projects. So this provides a really convenient way that's convenient for you and your team to be able to add clients to multiple projects at a time. We also make it super easy for clients to access those projects and know at any given time what project they are in. And you can invite, I've seen our users invite a single client to as many as 6 or 7 or 8 projects. So there's no limit there that's in place. And then another great thing is that even outside of these specific project tabs, clients can go into the My Tasks tab, which will show all of the tasks that are assigned to them across both of these 2 projects. So a really easy way for them to manage things and see everything that they need to do in one spot without even having to toggle between the 2 individual projects. And Tanya has written in with a question. Can you add a question to the form to make sure the right team member is assigned to the task that is created? So we do have a way to do that, Tanya, and I'm going to show you how in just a second here. I did want to show Tanya what it looks like with multiple projects. So hopefully that was helpful for you. That's a question that I haven't gotten in a little while, so I thought it would be important to just take a step back and show you before we dive back into showing you our new portal tab functionality. So as I had mentioned, and kind of where we had left off, is I had created, I'm going to delete this quick, just delete that test project. In our example project, just for a quick recap, I used Motion.io's AI to build out the tasks and stages within the project. And we added this page called Help Desk, which I have just saved, but there's nothing in here right now. And what we want to do is add a form to this. But as I mentioned, I don't have a form right now that I can use for this type of tab within my project. To create that form, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go to my forms library. And then for another cool AI feature that we have in Motion.io is I'm actually going to use our AI to create a new form that I can add to that portal tab you saw me create. So I'll say in the prompt, I will enter, please create me a short and concise form that my customers can use to submit technical support requests. And let's hit create form and see what the AI comes up with. This right here, by the way, our AI form builder is something I use almost every day, just because there's a lot of times when I'm like creating forms on the fly or testing things or showing a customer something. And instead of having to make them wait with me on a live video call, I can do it almost in real time. And I can create a new form in just a couple of seconds. So the AI here did a pretty good job. It created this form with a field for the customer's name, their email address, the issue description, and even a little radio select option for the urgency level, those levels being low, medium, high, and then a space for their contact number. I'm actually just going to delete that just to keep it a little bit simpler, more concise for the client. But the rest of these fields I'll leave in place. And I think that this looks pretty good. But I'm just going to add I am just going to quickly add a headline to this. I like to add a headline for any of the forms that I add to portal tabs, just because tripping over my words. I think that it makes the form look a little bit better after you add it. So I'm going to call this, add a headline that says submit a support request. And just to give the customer that's submitting this a little bit more context. So I'll go ahead and click Save Form, and this is good to go. Now we can head back into our template here. I'm going to click Edit, and then to edit the tabs that are going to be included every time a project is created from this template, I'm going to click Portal and navigate back to that Help Desk portal tab we created together. And this time, in the Form Embed, I will go ahead and select my help desk form that I just created. And now, Tanya, to answer your question about, and I'll just pop that up on the screen here really quick. Tanya's question was, can you add a question to the form to make sure the right team member is assigned to the task that is created? I didn't do that for this form. I didn't add, a specific question that asks anything about a team member, because the way that I can do that is actually right through the form embed interface here. So every time that this help desk form is submitted, I can assign it to any of the team members that are associated with my team. So for this form, I can assign it to, I'm going to assign it to myself whenever a new help desk submission is completed. What's important to point out about this, Tanya, if you are looking for a little bit more granular control between the types of projects, something really helpful to point out is that, so for example, let's say you have, just to make it easy and provide kind of a sort of real world example, let's say you have a business that offers two services. You offer lawn care, but then you also offer window cleaning. And if you wanted a request to go to a specific person for a window cleaning project, you could set up one form that was related to that type of project. And then for the lawn care service that you'd offer, you could have another form that went to someone else on your team. And you would just have two separate templates for those. So you do have that granular control to make sure that the right person is assigned to the right form, because this can all be configured at the template level all the way down to individual projects. So in my case, even if I, after creating a project from this template, said, hey, there's actually somebody else leading this project, and I want them to be assigned to the task that is created when this form is submitted, I could very easily go in and just adjust that setting on a per project basis to ensure that the correct person was assigned. Something else to point out about the way that form embeds work is that you can choose a stage for the new tasks to be created in. If you don't do anything with this, the tasks will just go into an uncategorized stage. What I like to do, though, since I've been using this functionality over the past couple of days, is I like to create a separate stage for sort of new inbound, new work requests. And for this example project template we're working off of, I'm just going to quickly create a new stage called help desk requests, save it, and then I will configure this so that anytime this help desk form I created is submitted, the task it creates will automatically go to that help desk requests stage. So finally, I'm going to go ahead and click enable form, and then we can go ahead and check out what this will look like in the client's portal. So to create a project from the template we set up together, I'm going to select it from the dropdown here. I'll call this my example project from template. I won't apply tags, but I will set myself as the project owner. And I promised earlier that I would show you how Motion.io's AI client functionality works. And because we're here in a brand new project already, and it was one that we created from a template that we want to test, I'm going to show you how this works right now. So if you are just tuning in, earlier in the live stream here, we created this template using Motion.io's AI task builder. And I also, in my template, set up a new stage called help desk requests, where anytime a client submits the form that we also created, those help desk requests will go right into this stage. But there's nothing here yet because the form in this help desk request stage yet, because the form hasn't been submitted yet. So with that, I'm going to go here into the users section. I'm going to click Add User to Project. And then I will click Simulated Client. And choosing Simulated Client as the role, one note about this, you can only do it for the first client that you add to the project. So if you've already created a project with a real client on it, you won't have this option available. Typically what I recommend, the way that I encourage all of our users to go about the testing process and using the simulated clients is just create a new project from one of your templates. Don't add any clients, but then you can add your AI client here. So I'm going to add this simulated client, and then you'll see I'm also prompted to assign them to some tasks. So I'll do that now. And from there, I am just going to go ahead and bulk select all of these tasks and click Send Tasks. And what will happen is the AI client will go ahead and start running through them. And as they go, I will get insights on my AI analysis tab over here that will explain any potential places where the client got stuck, anything they might have had trouble with, and provide recommendations for what you can do if there are places that could be improved. So for example, with the contract signing task, the analysis gave me the insight that, hey, this task was clear and straightforward, easy to complete, all good. But then in the onboarding form, it tells me, hey, these task instructions could be a little bit clearer in terms of acceptable formats for files and the typical content scope. So really slick way to test your project templates. And I'm glad I got to show this off today, just because I think it's really illustrative of this more powerful like AI workflow, especially when you're just getting up and running into Motion.io, where you can, in less than 15 minutes or so, create a project using AI, create a form using AI that you can add to portal tabs, and then add a simulated client to it to test that project without having to use your clients as the guinea pigs, without having to wait for a real life client to go through it. Nope, you can do that all in a couple of minutes and fully test your workflows using a AI simulated client. So now that we've talked about that, I do just want to show you the form that we created within the client's portal and what happens when that form is submitted. So I'm going to go copy the client's magic link here, the AI client's magic link, because this is one of the things that at the moment, I don't believe they will do. They won't submit forms embedded into portal tabs. So I will do this on their behalf. And great, you can see that under the home screen in this client's portal, their project, which I titled My Example Project from Template, is right here. And then within that project, there is the new tab that we created. So cool. Let's go ahead and just enter a help desk ticket, and we'll just call this website copy change. Just something easy to kind of illustrate what this is going to look like. Please change our website H1 to say Lockman, just creating a fake business name for this client, Lockman LLC, the best in business. So I'm submitting this as the client would, and I'll click submit. And what you'll notice is that when the client submits that support request, they automatically get a confirmation that the team they are working with has been notified. And on their end, they'll actually be able to see the task that they entered. If this form had included any file uploads, those would also be included here. And then the client can also, comment on this to check in about the task and the request that they had submitted. On the admin end, in the back end of that project, it's a very similar story, where down in this help desk requests stage that we created, Great. I can automatically see that I've been assigned this task. I know what I'm supposed to do to complete this task, and it's automatically set as active and I have been notified. So if I, for example, am working from my tasks view, what I can see is I can even open that task right from here, quickly understanding what project it's associated with and what I need to do to complete it. And I can go and start knocking out the tasks that I have been assigned, whether they're things that are in a project or submitted through a form. So great. I see. I'm going to and sorry for my pause there, just reading through some of our questions here. So I'm going to take a step back and answer some of them. Thanks everybody for the great questions today. Love the things that you're sending in. So Virginia asked a question, can you export that form to a PDF? So let me go ahead and talk about that. So the way that you will do this, Virginia, and I'm just going to go back to my screen share here. Just had to add that back to the stage there. The way that you can download those form submissions is you can go here into your forms library and you'll see all of your forms here. And you're able to download these submissions like so. Oop, and I realized I still had that comment popped up there. So hopefully that answers your question. We have a comment from Tim that says, and I'll just pop that up on the screen once again. Hi, Sam. Can the embedded form be an option for clients to upload additional files? In other words, in addition to the files they have uploaded to their tasks? Yeah, so certainly, Tim. I'll show you. I actually have 2 more examples of the way that you can use forms in portal tabs that I was going to show you. And I think that this is a great time to get right into that. So let me show you. Okay, here we go. So one of my other projects here, I have this Moxie Beverages project. It's a website redesign project. And I have already set up in the template that's associated with this project and in the active project itself, this form that is a service purchase form. And I know I showed the example of like a form that was sort of technical support or help desk driven. But I think where this new form embed functionality really shines is for clients to purchase additional services, whether that is a new project they want you to have work on, whether it's hours of work, maintenance on things like a website, or auditing maybe processes and systems if you're an operations consultant or something like that. But whatever you might need and whatever services you might have available that are add-on services or additional things clients can purchase, this functionality can be really, really useful for that. So I have this service purchase form here. And one of the things that I know it includes, and I'll just impersonate a client here again. So this is a different clients portal. This is the Moxie Beverages portal, not the example project I was working from earlier. And what you'll notice is I have this purchase form. It says right at the top here, please include the details relevant to your specific requests. And then it allows them to select the specific service that they want. And for this example business that I've created, we offer ad creative design, content writing, landing page design, and search engine optimization. So after selecting a service and entering some details, I'll just type in, these are the details. What you'll see is I've built out this form so that my client can go ahead and upload files directly into it. And this is extremely useful and something that I know quite a few of sort of the early users we have had, trying out this functionality and implementing in their businesses. we've had a lot of people do this just because, I mean, for me, even personally, whenever I've submitted a support request with another software company or another business or vendor we work with, I'm almost always including things like screenshots or relevant files with that. And what I've done here on this form is I've added just a file upload field to the form. And now when this is submitted, I'll hop back into my admin view. So I submitted that purchase form there. And what you'll see is that, great, the details alongside the files that this client uploaded are attached right here in the task. So to answer your question, yes, Tim, there is a way to do that, and it can be extremely useful. The way that you set this up is you would just edit the form that you were using, that you're embedding into that portal tab, as you would any other request, or sorry, any other type of form. And then, you could even modify an existing form if you set up one already that you want to use. But hopefully that is helpful. And the same way that you can adjust the form itself, if I also wanted to, I could totally just change the name of this to be upload more files. Or if I wanted to, I could even keep this tab as is and just add an additional embedded form. Because something helpful to point out is that with the ability to embed your forms into portal tabs, it isn't limited to just like one form and one tab. You can create as many tabs within your specific project or template as you'd like. So it gives you a ton of flexibility, especially for ongoing requests, ongoing services, additional things that you might need from clients as you work together. Typically, the way that I would recommend breaking it down is with tasks. Those are going to be things that you'll attach a form to if it's like a one-off request. So in the example of an intake form, an intake form is not something I would suggest including in a portal tab, but is much better suited for a task. On the other hand, something like a work request or a service request, something a client might want to submit or need to submit again and again, that's going to be much better to embed directly into a portal tab. And something like a file upload form would fit right into that criteria. So awesome to hear that was helpful, Tim, and really happy that I could answer your questions. Virginia asked another question. Can you export the AI feedback? So at the moment, I do not believe so. Let me just check here. I will confirm that here for you, but I do not believe so. That's an option. No, you cannot at the moment. I can log that for our team though, if that is something that would be helpful for you. I'd love to learn more about like where might you want to export that to, Virginia. One thing that is helpful to note is that within your project that you created and you had a client run through, this AI analysis doesn't go away. It'll be available here for the, as long as you have this project in your account. Even if you archive it, this will still be available. So if there's a reason why you would need to export that, you don't really want it to live right here, let me know. Happy to look into solutions to that for you. And we have a note from Angie I just thought was nice, so I'm popping it up on the screen here. The client request is genius. Communication with clients is critical to me. Right now, my clients text me with their requests, but now I can inform them to send their request through the portal. That is awesome to hear, Angie. I love that you can already see a use case for this because it is really cool for streamlining that moment of like, hey, client has this thing they want me to do. Great. That's automatically logged. It's automatically tracked. And better still for the client, they can see that you're working on it. So there's not this confusion of like, hey, did you get that? Are you working on this? Nope. They can go right into their portal and see that you are. I also think too, with things like texting, things like email, Slack, the big problem that I've seen and something that I've experienced even firsthand working with most recently redesigning our website is like the amount of times I was taking something from, I was copying and pasting something from a piece of feedback that we were discussing or something I wanted the team to do and trying to get it to them some way. It felt silly, the number of clicks that it took to, copy, paste, send it over, or wait to confirm. And I was totally in the dark about requests that I was submitting. So this new functionality really eliminates so much of that friction from clients being able to just get work done. And you being able to really streamline that process from request received, request completed. So awesome to hear that you're really digging this new functionality. Thanks for the kind words. And Virginia wrote in with the clarification. I was interested in providing the AI reporting to management that does not have access to the environment. Yes, that would make sense. I think that a quick way around this, what you could do, just expand it, screenshot it. I can see how you might want that. Another reason, though, this might be a great reason to invite them into Motion.io, even if it's just for a time, to see those insights firsthand, because it would also be some cool exposure to Motion.io for them. But it will, I can see a use case for that, so I will log something for our team to discuss. Allison wrote in, can the projects list have the ability to stay alphabetized permanently? You can set it once, but when you go back, it resets to last added. So, and just to quickly give us context for this comment. We are here in the projects view. And I believe what you are referencing here, Allison, is, so we have all of these filters that you can set up that allow you to do things like filter by owner, tasks, start date. And what Allison was speaking to specifically is if you click the dropdown by name, this will sort alphabetically. At the moment, we don't have a way to have saved filters, but it is something that's been requested a couple of times. Hasn't been the top of our priority list just because there's other really cool things that we've been working on that we've wanted to get out. But it is on the roadmap, and I will make sure to add a feature request for you. Don't have a timeline or anything like that for it, but I will make sure that we get that feedback logged for you, Allison. So I do appreciate you writing in. And the same thing applies to API access. So we do have a Zapier integration, James. If you are unfamiliar with that, I will just send you a link to our website page that includes more information about Zapier, and even has a bunch of really popular and most used Zap workflow templates. So you can check that out. But this is a great solution in lieu of a full public API. But that is another thing for a public API is something we've had a number of requests for. And thanks for that additional comment, Anjana. It's great to hear that you're loving Motion.io, and that especially cool to hear that you're finding so much value in the project management aspects of Motion.io for tracking, managing your work internally. And to answer your question, James, yes, we do have a trigger in Zapier for form submission. To quickly show you what that looks like, I can even just log into my own Zapier account, and the way that you might use that is if you go into Zapier, and let me just, whoops, realize I wasn't sharing my screen there. If you go into Zapier, you can click create, and then you can add a new trigger. If you look up Motion.io, we do have this form submission trigger that will automatically fire every time a form is submitted, and allows you to actually even select a specific form. So I can just go in here quick. Hope that I have the right account. I have so many accounts in here. But yeah, you can even specify which form you want the zap to trigger from. So you'll see I have a whole bunch of forms in here, but I could set up this zap so it only fires, for example, when my specific refer a friend form is submitted, or only fires when my client onboarding form is submitted, things like that. If you do want to learn more about Zapier, share my email. I'll share it again. Happy anybody who's watching this live stream here today. If there's questions you have, things you would like to learn more about, I'll plug my email in here. You can also email us anytime for more prompt response, just because it can be a little bit faster. Our support email is hello@motion.io, and myself or one of the other lovely folks on our team will be happy to assist with whatever you might need. So with that, everybody, we are just about at time here today. Really thank you, everyone, for tuning in. All of the great questions that you had asked. This was the perfect end to my week. I love how we really touched so many different parts of the app, basically from the early days of using Motion.io to some of these more power workflows you can use to streamline your client onboarding, collaboration, and communication. With that, everybody, I am headed off to complete the rest of my day. But as a reminder, we are back here every Friday, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, do these live streams every single week. And looking forward to seeing you in the audience on the next one. Take care. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.